Master trapper and tanner Tom Oar gained a huge following when he featured in History Channel's Mountain Men.
For over a decade, Tom Oar stood as the rugged, steadfast heart of Mountain Men, the History Channel's hit series that plunged viewers into the raw, unforgiving wilderness of America's frontiers. A retired rodeo cowboy turned full-time survivalist, Tom captured audiences with his old-school skills, humble demeanor, and an authenticity that seemed almost impossible to stage. Fans were drawn not only to the danger of his daily life, but to the calm confidence in his eyes, the way his hands moved with decades of hard-earned experience, and the quiet wisdom in his voice. Season after season, Tom became more than a character. He became a symbol of endurance, a modern-day embodiment of the frontier spirit. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, he vanished. No farewell episode, no farewell statement, no hints dropped during interviews. One season he was there, chopping wood, mending fences, and teaching viewers the art of living off the land. The next, he was gone. Social media exploded with questions. Where did he go? Was he sick? Did he retire completely? Or was there a hidden reason behind his disappearance that producers weren't ready to reveal? Fans clung to rumors, whispers, and unverified reports, each one more tantalizing than the last. Some suggested personal health struggles, others speculated family obligations, and a few even theorized something darker, something that might have forced him off camera against his will. For many, Tom's sudden absence left an emptiness that no other cast member could fill. He wasn't just a participant in a reality show, he was a teacher, a storyteller, a living reminder of a life most of us have only read about in history books. His departure ignited an obsessive curiosity among viewers, each episode now tinged with the question of what happened to Tom Oar. And while speculation ran rampant, the truth remained elusive, hidden behind the quiet mountains of Montana, where Tom had chosen to carve out his life. Today, we aim to go beyond rumor and conjecture, to uncover the real story behind Tom Oar's sudden exit. It's a tale filled with resilience, personal choice, and perhaps a revelation that no fan ever expected. Because in the world of Mountain Men, where survival is measured not by ratings, but by mastery of nature, Tom's story reminds us that even the strongest spirits can choose a path unseen by the public eye. On the surface, Mountain Men might appear as just another reality TV show, a glimpse into remote lifestyles that feel almost cinematic. But for those who tune in season after season, it's much more than that. The show offers a raw, unfiltered look at survival, exposing the intimate details of a world few of us have the courage or perhaps the desire to enter. It is a world defined by firewood stacked meticulously for winter, water sources carefully maintained, and every decision weighed against the threat of exposure to nature's harshest elements. The History Channel series doesn't rely on flashy drama or manufactured conflict. There are no scripts, no rehearsals, no gimmicks. Instead, it presents survival as it truly is, brutal, beautiful, and deeply human. Each episode is a lesson in patience, skill, and endurance, showing viewers not just what it takes to survive, but what it means to truly live in harmony with the land. Comfort is measured in clean water, enough food to last through the winter, and the knowledge that every mistake could carry serious consequences. Mountain Men introduces us to individuals who reject modern conveniences, who willingly trade electricity, grocery stores, and smartphones for the challenges of living off the grid. These are men and women shaped by their environment, their lives dictated by seasons, weather, and the relentless rhythm of nature. Their achievements are quiet but profound, a testament to the human capacity for resilience and ingenuity. Each week, audiences witness how ordinary materials, an axe, a trap, a fire, can transform into tools for survival, and how determination, grit, and experience can outmatch even the harshest conditions. The series doesn't just show survival. It celebrates it. It highlights a radical form of freedom, a life where decisions matter, where self-reliance is paramount, and where the rewards are measured not in dollars or fame, but in the mastery of the land and the preservation of traditions, long forgotten. And among the cast, 3 figures stand out, not just for their ability to endure, but for the humanity they bring to the screen: Eustace Conway, Marty Maiorado, and Tom Oar. Each embodies a different aspect of wilderness life, yet all share the same underlying philosophy: a profound respect for the land and the understanding that survival is more than a skill. It is a way of life. The cast of Mountain Men is more than just a collection of personalities. They are the living proof of what it means to thrive where most would falter. Among them, Eustace Conway, Marty Maiorado, and Tom Oar have become favorites, not merely for their abilities, but for the character and integrity they bring to the screen. Eustace Conway, in the misty hills of North Carolina, lives as though he has stepped out of another century. Driven by a mission to preserve ancient survival knowledge, he teaches traditional skills, crafts tools, and navigates the challenges of unpredictable weather and wildlife. Eustace's lifestyle is disciplined and methodical, yet controversy surrounds his portrayal. Some viewers question the authenticity of his scenes, but there is no denying the dedication and skill required to maintain the life he has chosen. He is a man living on the edge of history and the modern world, a bridge between eras. Far to the north, Marty Maiorado braves Alaska's merciless wilderness, a place where temperatures can plunge to -40 degrees and isolation is absolute. Marty's life is a study in resilience, piloting his bush plane to reach remote trapping grounds, chopping firewood in deep snow, and confronting dangers that test every ounce of strength and courage. His approach is quiet and methodical, but his achievements are immense. Marty doesn't escape modern life. He redefines freedom on his terms, showing that mastery over nature is as much mental as it is physical. Fans admire his grit, humility, and relentless commitment to the craft of survival. But it is in Montana's Yak River Valley that Tom Oar became the soul of Mountain Men. With leathery hands and a smile that radiates calm wisdom, Tom embodied the very essence of a rugged frontier life. From crafting traditional animal hide garments to stockpiling supplies for a 7-month winter, every action he took reflected a commitment to an enduring way of life. Unlike the occasional theatrics of reality television, Tom's life was grounded in reality, unvarnished, authentic, and entirely his own. He became not just a cast member, but a symbol of what it truly means to live in harmony with the land, a modern-day frontiersman whose influence extended far beyond the screen. Tom Oar's story is one of quiet heroism. A retired rodeo cowboy, he brought to the screen a blend of toughness and humility that resonated with viewers. Each day in the Yak River Valley presented a unique challenge: weather patterns that shifted without warning, wildlife encounters that required vigilance, and the constant task of preparing for a winter that could last more than half the year. For Tom, survival was never a game. It was a discipline. Fans watched as Tom meticulously prepared his homestead, handcrafting garments from animal hides and ensuring every tool and resource was in its proper place. He demonstrated the wisdom of living close to the land, teaching viewers the value of patience, planning, and respect for nature. His demeanor was calm, his speech measured, and his presence reassuring. There was no artificial drama, no exaggerated stunts. Tom's life itself was compelling enough. What set Tom apart was not only his skill but his philosophy. He embraced simplicity, finding satisfaction in the rhythms of the wilderness and the mastery of essential tasks. Whether constructing a shelter, tending to livestock, or navigating the rugged Montana terrain, Tom displayed an almost meditative focus. His life illustrated a principle rarely observed in modern society, that true strength is cultivated through discipline, patience, and a deep connection to the world around us. Yet, as seasons passed, fans began to notice subtle changes. Tom's movements grew slower, his speech more deliberate, and silences lingered longer. These shifts were minor but striking against the backdrop of a man whose life had always been defined by action and resilience. Speculation began to mount, and questions arose about the reasons behind these changes. What, if anything, had caused Tom to withdraw? Was it age, personal choice, or something entirely unforeseen? Tom's legacy, however, remains intact. Through his time on Mountain Men, he became a teacher to millions, an emblem of endurance, and a reminder that life in the wilderness is as much about inner strength as it is about physical capability. His story continues to inspire those who dream of escaping the trappings of modern life to embrace a simpler, more purposeful existence. Then came the disappearance. One season, Tom was absent, and the impact on fans was immediate and profound. Social media buzzed with speculation, from heartfelt concern to wild conspiracy theories. Some suggested that health issues forced him into retirement, while others claimed family obligations had drawn him away from the camera. A few of the more imaginative theories hinted at dramatic circumstances behind his exit, suggesting secrets hidden in the rugged Montana wilderness. Behind the scenes, whispers circulated among production crews. Yet no official statement fully explained his absence, leaving viewers in suspense. Each episode that aired without him felt incomplete, as though a vital part of the show's soul had vanished. Interviews with fellow cast members offered limited insight, often emphasizing respect for Tom's privacy without clarifying the reasons behind his decision. The mystery surrounding Tom Oar became a central point of intrigue for the series. Fans scoured old footage, analyzing movements and interactions for clues. Online forums dedicated hours to discussion, debating whether his exit was voluntary, inevitable, or imposed by circumstances beyond his control. Yet, despite the abundance of theories, the truth remained carefully shielded, a secret known only to Tom himself and those closest to him. This absence underscored the fragility of life in extreme conditions. Even the strongest and most capable individuals must navigate the realities of aging, health, and personal priorities. Tom's disappearance was a reminder that the wilderness, while inspiring and transformative, also demands a toll that cannot be ignored. At its core, Mountain Men is more than a survival show. It's a meditation on life stripped of excess, a reflection on the values that endure when modern conveniences are removed. Tom Oar, along with Eustace Conway and Marty Maiorato, exemplifies this philosophy. They demonstrate that a life in harmony with nature requires respect, discipline, and humility. Through their stories, viewers see that survival is not simply about avoiding danger. It is about understanding one's environment, making deliberate choices, and finding meaning in daily labor. Each obstacle, whether weather, wildlife, or scarcity of resources, becomes a lesson in resilience. Tom's life, in particular, illustrated that fulfillment comes from mastery, patience, and the quiet pride of living authentically. The show's broader theme, returning to simplicity, resonates deeply in an age dominated by technology and distraction. It challenges viewers to reconsider the value of possessions, the importance of skill, and the impact of living deliberately. Tom's journey is emblematic of this, reminding us that strength is cultivated, endurance is earned, and life's truest rewards lie in harmony with the natural world. While Mountain Men continues to explore the lives of modern frontiersmen, Tom Oar's story remains uniquely compelling. His sudden disappearance, layered with mystery and speculation, leaves a void that no other cast member can fill. Yet it is also a testament to his autonomy, the freedom to choose his path, away from cameras, away from public scrutiny, and into a life defined by his own terms. For fans, the fascination persists. The questions linger. Why did he leave? What does he do now? And perhaps most importantly, what lessons can we carry forward from his extraordinary example? One thing is clear: Tom Oar's impact on mountain men transcends seasons and episodes. His story, marked by authenticity, resilience, and quiet heroism, continues to inspire a generation that longs for a connection to the land, to tradition, and to a way of life that seems almost forgotten. And as the mountains stand eternal, so, too, does Tom's legacy, a reminder that even in the absence of explanation, true greatness leaves an indelible mark. After his sudden exit from mountain men, Tom Oar retreated into the quiet of Montana's Yak River Valley, choosing a life far removed from cameras, producers, and public scrutiny. For many, this choice only deepened the mystery surrounding him, fueling curiosity and speculation. But, for Tom, the decision was simple. A return to the rhythm of life he had always valued, one defined by hard work, patience, and intimate knowledge of the land. Life after the show didn't mean a life of ease. The challenges of the wilderness remained as demanding as ever. Winters in Montana are long, brutal, and unrelenting. Tom continues to chop firewood by hand, maintain his cabins, care for his livestock, and prepare meticulously for the months when snow blankets the valley and temperatures drop below freezing. Every task is performed with precision, honed over decades of experience. For him, survival is not a performance. It is a daily ritual, an unbroken commitment to self-reliance and resilience. Away from the public eye, Tom's days are quieter, slower, yet no less purposeful. He spends hours crafting traditional tools and garments from animal hides, repairing fences and monitoring the local wildlife. There are no scripted moments, no cameras capturing his every move, just the solitude of the wilderness and the satisfaction of knowing he is living life on his own terms. Friends and fellow survivalists occasionally visit, but even these interactions are measured, respectful of Tom's preference for privacy. Despite the distance from fame, Tom's philosophy remains unchanged. He continues to teach in subtle ways, through example rather than words, showing that the essence of survival lies not in recognition, but in mastery of skills and harmony with nature. For those who know him, Tom Oar embodies a principle that many aspire to but few achieve: the courage to live authentically, regardless of outside validation or public opinion. Even without cameras documenting his life, Tom's story continues to resonate. His departure from the show did not diminish his influence. If anything, it enhanced the legend of the man who chose substance over spectacle. Tom Oar's post-show life is a testament to his integrity, a life lived quietly, fully, and with unwavering adherence to the values that defined him on screen. Tom Oar's exit from Mountain Men left fans both shocked and fascinated. Online communities erupted with speculation, with forums and social media threads dedicated to discussing his whereabouts, health, and personal decisions. Some fans mourned the absence of the man who had become a symbol of endurance and authenticity. Others celebrated his choice, respecting the privacy and self-determination he had always embodied. The fascination with Tom extended far beyond mere curiosity. Fans admired his skill, humility, and the way he lived in harmony with the land. Many viewed him as a teacher, a guide for understanding principles of self-reliance and simplicity that seem increasingly rare in modern life. Comments and messages poured in on fan pages, highlighting how Tom had inspired them to try new skills, whether building a fire, crafting tools, or simply slowing down to appreciate the rhythms of nature. Articles and tributes appeared in niche magazines and blogs celebrating his contributions to the survivalist community. Even years after his disappearance from the show, discussions of his techniques and lifestyle continued to influence viewers, shaping a cultural appreciation for skills that had once seemed obsolete. Fan art, Photo compilations and video montages appeared online, often emphasizing Tom's stoic demeanor, weathered hands, and the serene landscapes of Montana that had become synonymous with his image. Some fans speculated wildly about what his post-show life might look like. Theories ranged from living entirely off-grid with zero human contact to mentoring young survivalists in secret. While these ideas were unverified, they reflected the impact Tom had made. A man whose life choices prompted millions to imagine alternate ways of living, ways that prioritize authenticity, resilience, and connection to the land over convenience and fame. In many ways, Tom's influence transcends television. He has become an archetype, a modern embodiment of the frontier spirit, a reminder that courage, discipline, and quiet determination can inspire communities long after the cameras have stopped rolling. His story sparked discussions not only about survival but about what it means to live deliberately, reminding audiences that true adventure is not measured in views or ratings, but in choices made in harmony with one's principles. Those who worked closely with Tom Oar on Mountain Men often recall him as the embodiment of quiet professionalism. Producers, cameramen, and fellow cast members repeatedly described him as methodical, reliable, and deeply respectful of the wilderness. Unlike some reality TV personalities, Tom rarely sought the spotlight. He did not perform for the camera, nor did he engage in dramatics to enhance a storyline. Instead, he let his actions speak for themselves. Crew members often share anecdotes that reveal both his toughness and his humanity. During filming, Tom would wake before sunrise, tend to his homestead, and prepare meticulously for the day ahead, all while offering guidance to new cast members who were learning the ropes. He was known for patience, taking time to explain survival techniques in detail, ensuring that everyone around him understood not just the how, but the why behind each action. There were also lighter moments. On occasion, Tom's dry sense of humor would emerge, catching the crew off guard with subtle jokes or witty observations. Even in extreme conditions, snowstorms, freezing temperatures, or long hours of filming, Tom maintained composure, rarely complaining, and often helping. Others adjust to the hardships of the wilderness. These glimpses behind the scenes painted a fuller picture of the man fans had come to admire, someone tough yet approachable, stoic yet quietly warm. Producers also noted that Tom's authenticity elevated the show itself. Scenes involving him required no manipulation. The camera could simply observe, and the resulting footage conveyed drama, beauty, and tension naturally. Tom's presence reminded everyone involved that reality television could be compelling without exaggeration, that true skill and character could hold an audience without scripts or gimmicks. Tom Oar's life offers more than thrilling wilderness exploits. It offers profound lessons for living deliberately. His philosophy centers on self-reliance, patience, respect for nature, and the discipline required to thrive in an environment that is as unforgiving as it is beautiful. Through his actions, he demonstrates that strength is cultivated through experience, and that true mastery of one's environment is inseparable from humility. One of the most significant lessons is the value of preparation. Tom's meticulous planning, stockpiling supplies, crafting garments, and tending to every detail of his homestead, illustrates the importance of foresight. Every decision carries consequences, and survival is contingent upon understanding the environment and anticipating challenges. In a broader sense, this principle applies to modern life. Foresight, careful planning, and attention to detail can guide us through personal and professional challenges. Another lesson is patience. Tom's lifestyle is governed by the rhythms of nature, not the clock. Tasks cannot be rushed without consequence, and rewards come only to those who respect the process. In an age dominated by instant gratification, this lesson is striking. True achievement is rarely immediate, and enduring success requires consistent effort over time. Finally, Tom embodies the principle of authenticity. He lives according to his values, not for applause or recognition. His life is a reminder that fulfillment comes from living in alignment with one's principles, not from external validation. For viewers, these lessons extend far beyond survival skills. They are insights into how to live thoughtfully, resiliently, and purposefully. As the cameras of mountain men stop rolling and seasons change, Tom Oar's influence endures. His story is one of authenticity, resilience, and quiet heroism, a life lived on principles rather than public opinion. Even in his absence, he inspires those who watch, encouraging a reflection on simplicity, self-reliance, and the timeless wisdom embedded in the natural world. Though his disappearance left questions unanswered, it also reinforced his independence and dedication to living on his terms. The legacy of Tom Oar is not confined to episodes of television. It lives on in viewers who adopt his lessons, in fans who continue to share his story, and in the broader culture of survivalists and wilderness enthusiasts who look to him as an example. Ultimately, Tom's journey reminds us that true greatness is often silent. It is forged in solitude, honed by challenges, and revealed through actions rather than words. His life encourages a reconsideration of what is meaningful, showing that fulfillment is found not in notoriety, but in mastery, integrity, and harmony with the land. Tom Oar may no longer appear on screen, but his story endures, a beacon for those who seek to live deliberately, courageously, and authentically in a world that often forgets the value of simplicity. Tom Oar's mastery of survival is not just impressive, it borders on legendary. On Mountain Men, viewers watched in awe as he demonstrated skills that many would consider lost to history, a rare blend of practicality, precision, and ingenuity. Every action, from the simplest to the most complex, was executed with a calm, confidence born of decades spent living in the wilderness. Whether setting traps, making fire, or crafting garments, Tom approached each task as both a science and an art, teaching audiences through demonstration rather than instruction. Trapping, for instance, was a cornerstone of Tom's daily life. He understood animal behavior in intricate detail, from the smallest rodents to larger wildlife, knowing where to set traps and which baits would attract specific species. On the show, his process was deliberate. He would scout locations carefully, check for tracks, and adjust traps according to weather, terrain, and seasonal changes. What might appear simple on screen was actually the result of meticulous planning, deep observation, and patience, qualities essential for survival. Fire-making was another area where Tom excelled. Without modern conveniences, he relied on traditional methods, often using flint, steel, and tinder meticulously prepared from the natural environment. Watching him strike sparks onto dried materials, slowly coaxing flames to life, was more than a demonstration. It was a lesson in patience, precision, and respect for the power of fire. Each flame he lit represented not only warmth and cooking ability, but a symbolic mastery over the elements. Crafting garments and tools from animal hides was perhaps the most iconic of Tom's techniques. His hands, weathered and strong, transformed raw materials into clothing, footwear, and equipment capable of withstanding the harsh Montana winters. These skills required not only technical ability, but an intimate understanding of the land, the animals, and the materials he used. In each step, from tanning hides to sewing seams, Tom demonstrated a reverence for the process and an efficiency born of necessity. What set Tom apart was his ability to teach without preaching. Fellow cast members and viewers alike learned by observing his workflow, noticing the subtle adjustments, and internalizing the discipline required for such a life. His techniques were not flashy. They were rooted in functionality and tradition. By showcasing his skill set on Mountain Men, Tom bridged the gap between modern audiences and a way of life that is increasingly rare, inspiring countless fans to explore survival skills for themselves. Life in Montana's wilderness is far from idyllic. Even for a seasoned survivalist like Tom Oar, every day brings a unique set of challenges, some visible on screen and others hidden behind the camera. Harsh winters, often lasting 7 months or more, are a constant threat. Temperatures can drop below freezing for weeks at a time, and heavy snow can isolate even the most prepared individual. During these months, every task, cutting wood, hauling water, tending to livestock, becomes physically exhausting, yet the margin for error is non-existent. Tom also contended with the unpredictable behavior of wildlife. Wolves, bears, and other predators are not only a threat to livestock, but a constant reminder that humans are guests in the wilderness. Even with extensive knowledge and preparation, encounters with animals required vigilance, quick thinking, and deep respect for their power. The show occasionally highlighted these moments, creating tension and awe. But behind the scenes, the stakes were always high. Isolation added another layer of difficulty. Unlike urban life, there is no immediate help, no emergency services a few blocks away. Injuries, equipment failure, or illness could become critical without access to outside resources. Tom navigated this reality daily, relying on his own skills and intuition. The mental fortitude required to endure such conditions, combined with the physical demands, underscores why he became a symbol of perseverance and quiet strength. Seasonal unpredictability further complicated survival. A sudden blizzard could destroy food caches or make travel impossible, forcing adjustments to plans and schedules. Rain, freezing temperatures, or early snowfalls could ruin preparations months in advance. Tom's response to these challenges was methodical. He prepared for the worst, adapted quickly, and maintained a calm, deliberate approach that minimized risk and ensured survival. Even with the support of the camera crew, these hardships were real. The show captured moments of struggle, exhaustion, and sometimes frustration, yet never manipulated them for drama. For viewers, Tom's ability to endure these challenges provided both suspense and admiration. It also reinforced the authenticity of Mountain Men, a series in which survival is not just entertainment, but a rigorous test of skill, patience, and resilience. One of Tom Oar's most enduring qualities was his role as a mentor to fellow cast members and new participants. On a show centered around survival, skill transfer is critical, and Tom's approach was patient, precise, and practical. He never imposed himself, but allowed others to learn through observation, subtly correcting mistakes and offering guidance when necessary. His mentorship was never performative. It was rooted in genuine care and respect for others' growth. New cast members often remarked on Tom's calm demeanor and willingness to share knowledge, whether it was demonstrating the correct way to set a trap, teaching how to tan hides,